Alright, we're live. What's up, guys? My name is Nate, and today I will be doing the first solo video for this channel. Now, if you do not read our channel description yet or watch the intro video, we explain that sometimes me and Riley are not gonna be with each other or be hanging out because we live two different separate places. Um, that we would have to do gameplay of games, which I can't do because I don't have the software, but he can, or do vlogs and commentaries, which I am doing right now. So, for the topic today, I wanted to discuss more about my martial arts life, career, whatever you want to call it. The reason why I chose this topic to discuss it is because it is something I know a lot about with my heart, and I am very passionate about it. Sorry, my inner leg is itching. Um, but if you watched the video of me describing or of us ranking movies that we've seen this year so far, you would realize and notice that I'm not very good at explaining stuff. But when it comes to something I know like so much about with my heart, such as this topic we're discussing, I can just explain it more. So the first martial art I ever took was karate. This was basically karate. It was actually Olympic karate, I believe. I don't remember. This was 10 years ago. Um, but the reason why I got put into this in the first place is because I used to get bullied in elementary school. I looked like I was a skinny kid. I looked like an easy target. I don't know how to protect myself. And just in general, I was a nerd. So my stepdad at the time, who actually took up martial arts as a kid too, until he got into the military. He got a couple black belts and karate and stuff like that. He put me into it because he didn't want to see me like that, I guess. I think it happened to him too. I think he was bullied before. But anyways, not to go off topic. Um, at first, I didn't want to be in karate, you know. I felt as if I was being forced, but then I understood that him and my mom didn't want me to be bullying. And usually, when you tell schools about you being bullied, they don't really do nothing. I'm sorry if that offends anyone, but telling teachers doesn't work. When it comes to bullying, that makes the bullying much worse because you become a snitch, and people don't like snitches. Um, But yeah, after a couple weeks with me being in karate, my stepdad ended up taking me out because he did not like the way the instructor was teaching. Um, so a little while after that, we found another place which was actually by the school that I went to. Um, it was another kind of karate place, but it also implemented Tang Sudo, which I'll put in the description below so you can go look it up if you're curious about it. Um, but I learned karate, which there's three different styles of karate. There's Kyokushin, Shotokan, and I forgot the other karate style there was. Um, but I believe it was Shotokan karate. And karate is more of a self-defense martial art than anything else. Um, and then Tung Sudo is like Japanese kung fu. It's really smooth and yeah, it's almost like karate. So I worked my way up to Owens Belt after a couple months of being at that place, and the place ended up getting shut down due to the instructor fleeing with all the money that everybody paid him to stay in that class. And he went to California, I believe, and we found out he was not a certified instructor, meaning when you become an instructor, you have to sign paperwork so he can actually be able to teach. And we found out that he never signed paperwork. He knew everything and he was legit, but he wasn't certified. So after that, I was kind of tired of, and this was when I started enjoying karate or martial arts, because like I said, I didn't like it at first. Um, and the reason why I did start liking it was because, well, simply because of movies and UFC, because I started watching UFC too. Um, But I started learning from YouTube and the internet. Now I know there are gonna be people saying, "Oh, well, you didn't take a class, so you don't really know it." But that's not true. If you find someone who actually teaches a class or legit tutorials, which I found, um, it still counts in my eyes. So the martial art that I learned from the internet or YouTube was Muay Thai. Now, Muay Thai was developed from Thailand and it is probably the most lethal and deadliest martial art there is, besides the one I'm about to mention, well, later on into the video. But Muay Thai is also called the art of eight limbs, meaning you use your whole body, your fists, your elbows, your knees, and your legs, your feet. Um, so you could get kneed to the rib cage, flying elbowed to the eye. It's just crazy. You can go look it up on the internet, like injuries, and you'll see people with like bruises like this far out of the face with just bubbles the side of my hand or like bruises or whatever, like bumps the size of my fist, and it's just crazy. Or you can go on YouTube and watch fights of it. It's almost like kickboxing, but you can use more stuff in it, and it's more lethal. Um, but there's also another thing in Muay Thai called shin conditioning. Now, what this means is Muay Thai practitioners kick heavy bags, pads, or they do techniques such as box jumps, which strengthens the bones of your shin muscles. Now, what this means is whenever you work out your shins, do something like that, you get micro tears in your muscle. Basically, what that means is these little microscopic tears happen in your tissue, and over time it heals and it becomes stronger. This explains why you feel sore and why you look a lot stronger or your muscles look a lot more pumped after a workout, because your muscles are technically swelled up because you tore, but it's not in a bad way. Um, the only way to fix that is medicine, or not medicine, is rest, because rest is key when it comes to working out. Because you're not giving your if you don't give your body enough time to rest, then you're not gonna get where you want. But anyways, after months and months of these fighters, these practitioners doing shin condition, their shins end up being like shins of steel, meaning it's like it sounds that heavy. Well, not like that, but it's like really, really hard, and it hurts whenever someone kicks at them, or it doesn't really hurt the practitioner if he kicks something. Like, it doesn't affect him. Um, and Muay Thai is probably the most effective martial art there is when it comes to self-defense, whether if it's even on the streets or not. So, the next karate place, or not karate, the next martial art place that I went to, which I stayed at for 3 years, well, 2.5 to almost 3, was a Taekwondo place. Now, in this Taekwondo place, I learned obviously Taekwondo. I also learned the basics of boxing, kickboxing, and Krav Maga, which I will explain every one. So Taekwondo it's mostly kicking. Um, if you ever watch movies, like there was a fight scene where someone does like a flying kick or something like that, that's probably Taekwondo. Um, it is about 75% kicking and 25% punching. So these Taekwondo fighters, they're always, or Taekwondo practitioners, fighters, whatever you want to call them, they're always kicking or doing something, so they develop like a lot of leg muscle, and it makes their kicks powerful and also lightning and fast. It all depends on actually how you practice, because if you're practicing like you don't care, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to give you 100% every time. Um, but anyways, it really isn't a good self-defense for the streets or in a fight, really, unless you're really fast or you throw the opponent off balance by faking or something. Um, or low kicks. Low kicks are really effective. But the reason why it's not really effective in the streets, in my opinion, we know all this stuff is in my opinion about whether if it's self-defense or not. Um, but the reason why it's not effective is because you can grab the leg of a Taekwondo kicker and throw them off balance, or you can close the distance, meaning you can get up close to them, like in the space in the bubble to where they can't kick you, and it really works. Um, and then basics of boxing. What I mean by that is learning how to punch, learning how to block, parrying, slipping a jab, just basics of boxing. Kickboxing is almost like boxing and Taekwondo combined. You can kick and punch wearing gloves, and that also explains like flying kicks in movies and stuff like that. It's mostly Taekwondo, but sometimes it's kickboxing, or it could be both, one or the other. Um, and then Krav Maga is it's not a martial art, but it's still a fighting system. So what Krav Maga is it's an Israel martial art for the not martial art. Geez, it is an Israel um, military combat system. What I mean by that is they teach it in the military and is designed to end a fight as fast as possible. So this combat system, it is not meant for MMA fighting, UFC fighting, nothing like that. It is meant for military, for the streets, and it is implicated in a way that it will save your life. Now, there were talks about whether it being effective or not, or whether if you should take it, because some people think it's dirty, because there's groin kicks, eye gouges, eye rakes, stuff like that, stuff that is really dirty. But if you think about it, let's say, if you're in an alleyway, right, and you're getting robbed by someone with a knife, and your life is on the line, you're not gonna care if you fight dirty or not. You're just gonna want to get out of that situation as fast as possible, and that's where this is implemented in. So so now for the finishing touches of this video, um, I the most recent thing I took in was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I was in there for a couple months, but I stopped going for a while because of my shoulder, and money was just tight at the moment. They cut my disability check, so that explains a lot of it. Well, that explains everything in my shoulder. Um, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu it's a ground fighting martial art. So if you did not know, about 95% of fights end up on the ground. The martial arts that I took before this, they were all stand-up style. So I was really good at standing up, but I never really was taught like on the ground how to fight because I didn't take those arts. So I ended up going into a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu system, class, place, whatever you want to call it, and I learned a lot. Now, it is really painful. It was the hardest martial art I took aside from the other ones. The reason why that is because just in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you choke people, you get choked out, you put people in locks, you get in locks, and it's painful. It's really tough, and it takes literally about 9 to 10 years to get you black belt. And the reason why that is because there was only 5 belts, which is white, orange, or not orange, white, purple, blue, brown, and black. That's why it takes so long. But it is really effective, and it's really effective in a street fight if you're just fighting one person. But when it comes to like a group of people, it's not really, because if you have someone in a chokehold on the ground, the other guys or other guys, girls, whoever you're fighting, can easily stomp on you and you're done. Because if you get stomped on your face, then there's a chance your head hits the concrete or wherever and you get knocked out and possibly hospitalized. But it is effective in one-on-one situations, not gonna lie. There was also some throws implemented to it, hip tosses, how to flip someone, stuff like that. and it's a grappling martial art, such as wrestling. But yeah, probably it is my favorite martial art I've taken so far. So then the last thing I know is wrestling, and I actually wrestled this past season, but I wasn't able to wrestle any matches because I was taken out for the very first match. I was taken out for the whole season due to my injury. Basically, how that happened is my athletic trainer took me out and she didn't want me competing. Same with my orthopedic doctor. So, but I learned a couple more, takedowns, stuff like that, and yeah. Now, hold up, real quick, guys. Let me. Alright, so hold up. So here is my very first certificate. This was in 2011, and here is my black belt certificate. You can see black belt, and then over here is my trophies, and that's my workout powder, my sword, and then all these belts. Right, all these belts are from Taekwondo. I don't have my karate belts with me, and then right there is my black belt. It has the words Nate Wilson on it in the first degree. So the reason why I decided to show you guys that is because to show you that I actually know the stuff, that I'm not just lying. But yeah, so that's probably gonna be the end of this video. Well, it is the end of this video, but I do hope you enjoyed this. I don't know when I'm gonna upload again. I'm pretty sure Riley is working on something right now, and I'm gonna try to do the thumbnail as best as possible. Again, I do not have the equipment, but anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Help us grow our channel, and we'll help you grow yours. And yeah, guys, I'm Nate, and peace.